Hey, RNT Rockstars, what's going on? Emily Roberts here. Super excited for our guest speaker tonight, Diamond Ambassador RAYNE Anderson. She has quite an incredible story. She started this business unexpectedly as a single mom, and she has gone diamond and has just shared her heart with me, and I can't wait for her to share her heart with you. We're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about the thing that controls our world, right? Everything that goes on up in here. She's going to talk about that, and I think it is so up her alley because she's such an eloquent, sweet person, and you are going to see exactly why she is a diamond in our company. So, RAYNE, I am going to spotlight you, my friend, and I'm just going to let you take over.
Excellent. Well, thank you so very much. You know, Emily is so sweet. We've had several opportunities to visit, not for long periods of time, but I absolutely adore her. And, you know, I think her heart is so sweet, and she brags on y'all so much. Her heart is for y'all, and I cannot wait to have this opportunity to visit with you, to pour into you, and hopefully leave you a little bit better than you joined the call today. So like Emily said, my name is RAYNE Anderson, and y'all, I have the privilege of being a Diamond Ambassador with the company. So I joined Plexus as an ambassador back in April of 2013, but my story does not start there. I was a customer for 6 months before I joined the company. And I literally did not even realize that Plexus was a network marketing opportunity, because I was one of those moms that Celeste Gwynn recommended to Jen Hawkins to buy the product from. And so I did just that for 6 months. Again, I thought it was a family-owned business. I thought Jen's grandpa was stirring up some Plexus powder in his basement, had zero inclination that this was network marketing. And that just goes to, you know, there's a learning lesson there. Maybe I should have known that this was an opportunity to make money before that 6-month mark. But I can see some of you, and can we just, since you're muted and I don't have volume on you, can we just maybe jazzy hands it or shake our heads in agreement if y'all would just agree that life just happens? Yeah, life happens, right? And so 6 months into my health journey, life happened to me in a big way. And like Emily said, I was all of a sudden faced with the fact that I was going to have to raise my daughter on my own. And let me paint that picture for you guys. I was 40 years old, don't have my college degree, had not worked in over 10 years. So if I share with you guys that I was scared, that was a complete understatement. So I did what I think any person in that position would do. And number one, I prayed. Number two, I got to interviewing, because we're trained in this world that we go get a job. We go find, you know, work. We work outside of the home. And that's exactly what I did. Now, I'll share with you as well that I was very, very fortunate that I was offered a job fairly immediately. The problem is that the job was about 45 minutes from my home, and that's if there was no traffic, and the thought of that just didn't sound so awesome to me, because all of a sudden that routine of being able to take Sadie to school and pick her up all of a sudden was a luxury, and I didn't want to give that luxury up. So I didn't take the job, and it was a real bold move not to take that job, because I also want to share with you guys, because it is very important to this story, that offer I was made was a sales position, and it was a 6-figure a year income. So it was an answer to my problem, but it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel good, and I decided I wasn't going to take it. Now, why I still cannot with reason explain that to you, other than I truly do feel that God had his hand on the back of my neck, kind of like we do with our kids sometimes, you know, no, you'll go this way. And I really do feel like that's where he had me, because I just knew that that opportunity wasn't the one for me to still be able to be a good mama. I still didn't realize about Plexus, so I did continue to interview. But like many of us, maybe prior to Plexus, I found myself on Facebook, just scrolling, and I happened to see Celeste post that what she was able to do with her first month's salary with this little company called Plexus. And of course that perked my ears because I already loved the products. In fact, I had to stop the products because, again, money was tight and I just didn't know how to even justify spending any extra money on myself. I'll be real honest, I missed my products greatly. So I wanted to figure out how I could start those back up again as well. So the cool thing is that Celeste and I chatted for about 2 or so hours that evening. I got an education that, yes, this was a business opportunity, and she validated to me that I could possibly do something with this. And so without much thought, and I mean, I'll say within 24, maybe 48 hours, I signed up as a Plexus ambassador with her. That was in late April of 2013. And y'all, you know, it's hard to believe that it was almost 4 years ago. But I look back on that time and I realized that we were some mamas that just believed in these products, and we just knew to do what we knew to do, and that was to share with people because we had such great success and admiration for these products. I know that that might sound weird, but they truly did change our lives from a health perspective. And I'll just pause for a second. If y'all hear some, you know, we say this is real life. If y'all hear growling in the background, it's because I have 2 puppies that this is witching hour. I say this is their, you know, the storm before the calm. And so it's a lot easier to have them back here with me than it is to have them banging on my office door to get in. So if you do hear them growling, I promise you I'm fed. I'm not hungry. It's just my dogs in the background acting a little crazy. So, so anyways, but I'm going back to my story. So again, Mama's just sharing, loving the products, and believing in one another that we could do something with this. Now, keep in mind, at the time, there were no Diamond Ambassadors, so we really didn't know what that meant from a financial blessing. We didn't have charts out that showed what the average income was because, again, no one was a diamond yet. We just knew what Celeste was doing, and she was blazing the trail here in this Collin County area, and we all just jumped in with her. We were super excited about it. And so, again, not knowing if it was fast or slow or realistic or unrealistic, I just looked at the compensation chart and said, I want to be that diamond thing in a year, and set my goal for that, not knowing, again, if that was realistic or not realistic. And so that absolutely happened within 1 year of me joining Plexus. So in April of 2014, I became a Diamond Ambassador with the company, attended my very first convention as a Diamond Ambassador in Dallas, Texas. And what's funny, y'all, is that year I was a top earner with the company. And when that happens, they give you a suite. And my suite actually overlooked the company that offered me that job. So it was kind of that full circle moment, you know, it just felt like, wow. I mean, in that moment, I just had that realization of, wow, that's where I could have been. And y'all, that building had very few windows. It seemed like a prison. And I just remember thinking how very fortunate and how very blessed I was to have been brave in those moments, to have turned away what was a sure thing and jumped in with this opportunity called Plexus. And I've never looked back. It's been a major blessing. You know, we say that in this opportunity that we're blessed with health, we have the potential of being blessed financially, but then we make these amazing friendships. And I hope and I pray that, you know, those of you that are on the call that have been with Plexus for a little bit, that you've had the opportunity to experience that. And then those of you, I hear we have some new people as well. And just kind of raise your hand if you're new. Are you fairly new with Plexus? Okay. All right. So hopefully you get that opportunity to start making some real deep friendships in this, because I promise you that opportunity is here. So I mention that because through this opportunity, I've been blessed with the same fortune of deepening and strengthening the relationships that I've had and making new ones. I have an ambassador on my team who's an emerald. Her name is Heather Rice. And through Plexus, we've grown even closer and really like sisters in many respects. Through that, and through growing closer, she introduced me to one of her friends, who I will be celebrating my 2nd year anniversary with in January. So yeah, right, I know. So for me, Plexus has been a true Cinderella story in a lot of respects. My husband adopted my daughter back just almost a year ago. And so our family is certainly complete. And I have every reason to thank Plexus for this, you know, the friendships, the opportunity, the blessings. And so, you know, when I say you've made a really good choice to be a part of this company, yes, he is very awesome, and he is a good man. I'm so sorry for the growling. I'm going to have to get on them in a second because they're starting to get into my space and it's becoming annoying. But anyways, yeah, he is a really good guy. And to take on one that's not your own biologically, I think speaks volumes of a person. But, you know, we've had the opportunity to bond as a family and find our new normal. And, you know, I'm very grateful to the umbrella of Plexus. Of course, grateful to God for bringing that vehicle in our lives. But with you all saying yes, you're brave and you're special and you've said yes to a bigger life. And so what I want to do is share with you guys the importance of your mindset and really break this down into what I call 4 mental enemies of success that can block your success. And so what I'd like to do is kind of drill down into some training. I take lots of sips of water because as I talk, my voice becomes a little bit dry. But y'all just take a minute to grab your pen and paper because I think you're going to want to write some of what I say down. And again, I pray that you find this information valuable because I'm a firm believer of what happens in between our 2 ears definitely sets the pace for how we will be in this business. So let's all take a drink of water and then we'll get into the training, okay? Okay, let's dig into this. So understanding the philosophies that we're about to talk about are crucial in your business because it's not a matter of if these blockers will come up, it's a matter of when. And the first mental enemy I want to talk to you all about tonight is the mental enemy of success called rejection. So we have expectations of the people in our life. You know, we approach our warm market typically first. And when they don't say yes, we become disappointed. Would y'all agree with that? Yeah, and have y'all had people in your close circle say no to you? Here's the thing, I have too, and I'm here to share with you. It's okay. So, you know, the more people that tell you no, the more that it hurts. But you will be told no often in this business, and I'm here to share with you that is part of your journey. Kind of fail our way to success. And, you know, when you have negative people in your life, we have to be careful of the opinion that we buy into, because the opinion you buy into is also the lifestyle that you buy into. So when we hear no, look at it as your vitamin. Look at it as your vitamin to success, if you will. The no's are your vitamin. And again, we fail our way to success. You know, sometimes in this business, I get a little, I like to have fun with people from time to time. And then, of course, it just depends on my mood and the person I'm speaking with. But have you ever been asked, oh, are you part of one of those pyramid schemes? Yeah, right. I have too. And so sometimes, again, depending on my mood, I might say, oh, yeah, those pyramid schemes. Yeah, you know, that thing. Oh, yeah, I'm at the top of one of those things. Or if you're not at the top of one of those things, you can say, I'm working my way to the top of one of those things. It'll be funny to see how you stop people in their tracks when you say that. But people who don't have dreams, y'all, they want to knock yours. It's amazing to me. It's so sad, but it's true that most people won't participate in their own rescue. I'm going to say that to you one more time because I really want it to sink in. It's sad, but it's true. Most people will not participate in their own rescue. And so what I want you to be confident about when they're saying that to you is that they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves because they can't see themselves doing more. They can't see themselves doing the necessary work that it's going to take to be successful in this. But you're different. You're a risk taker. You've said yes to an opportunity here, just like I said to y'all earlier. You've said yes to a bigger life. You've said yes to providing for you and your family. And this makes you different. This makes you brave. This makes you special. And this makes you a part of something that I promise you can bless you, not just in your generation, but give you an opportunity for you to leave a legacy for generations to come. And I want you to think about that for a minute. It's not just about your four walls. What I love, absolutely love about network marketing is that this opportunity gives us the opportunity to be the people that God intended us to be. And I believe that God intended you to rock. It also gives you the opportunity to give more, and it gives you the opportunity to be better mamas, daddies, spouses, friends, sisters, daughters, sons. So, we just have this opportunity before us that I say, congratulations, you saw it differently. So, and again, I say this to my team all the time, you're saying you're not fit to work for somebody else. And so that is incredibly important. When people say no to you, don't make them feel bad. Always leave that door open. It's incredibly important because I know y'all have heard this before, those of you that have been in this for even a period of time. I cannot tell you how many times someone has told me no, and they've come back and they've said yes and then no because they gave up on themselves too quickly, or they just flat out said no for whatever reason, but then they continue to see the success of Plexus and the success that other people are having either on the products or with the business. And, the curiosity just gets to them and they think, well, what if I could make something of this? So again, leave that door wide open. And how do you decrease the impacts of rejection? I'm here to tell you the cure to any inactivity in your business is activity, getting to work, doing those income producing activities. So again, activity is the cure for any problem that you might have in your business. So most people think that they're a serious business builder, and yet they're only contacting, they think that to be a serious business builder, they need to contact, a person a day or 2 to 3 people a day. And so I'm going to push back on you a little bit and say, is that really seriously business building when you know that if the average person takes at least 7 to 8 times for an exposure to this business, is contacting 2 or 3 people a day enough to propel your business into a place of momentum? And I'm assuming if you're on this call, you want to be in a place of momentum in your business if you're not already there. But how do we keep that momentum, right? We've got to go to work. We've got to create activity. And what I mean by activity is those income producing activities. Again, when I say this, a lot of times people aren't even talking to one person a day, and yet they have the gumption to get frustrated in this business of why am I not growing, or what am I not, why am I not seeing the fruits of my labor? Well, I'm here to tell you, you are, if you're only contacting one person a day. So we've got to look at our plans. We've got to get a little more serious about what we're doing, and we have to reach out more and create that activity for ourselves. And we wouldn't expect to get paid big money if we went to our JOBs and only worked 10 minutes a day. And it's the same thing in network marketing, right? We have to have realistic expectations. Do y'all ever feel like when you're on a Zoom call that you're kind of in the world of the Brady Bunch? I'm trying to look at each one of you, and I feel like I'm, Marsha Brady or Mama Brady really in this group, looking around. But I am really trying to make eye contact with each of you. So if I look a little crazy on the playback, that's why, because I'm literally trying to look at each one of you for a reaction. So it's these simple disciplines that really compound our efforts in battling that mental enemy of rejection. So let's move on to the mental enemy number 2. And now we're going to talk about deception. So have you ever given a sample or shared a video to only not hear from that person ever again, or be told, worse, that they're going to watch the video or they're going to take your sample and then they disappear? Or how about this example? You invite them to one of your meetings and they don't show up. It's like there's a Bermuda Triangle around that meeting space and they're lost in the abyss of lost potentials, right? So again, this is going to happen. It's happened to all of us, and I'm here to share with you that most people will not play an active part in their own rescue. They will play volunteer victim in their lives, and it's so very sad because they'll work jobs that they hate, they'll get paid barely enough, and then they'll pray that they don't lose those jobs. It's a crazy cycle, y'all. It's one that I don't get. So you have to understand that it's not intentional deception, but it is very much a part of what we go through. And again, we don't close the door on these individuals. We circle back around. You know, I tell people, so I just had this conversation last night, in fact, on a team call. And, you know, one of the questions was, how do you circle back around with someone who's basically gone radio silent? You know, they first expressed interest, and I see some heads nodding, so I get that you guys have been through this, right? So how do we get them, how do we circle back around with them? How do we get them back, you know, re-engaged? Now, here's the reality. Sometimes they're just gone, y'all. Again, they're not saying no to you, they're saying no to themselves. But I love, and follow me here, because I genuinely have a heart for people. But I also think we have to call people out when they don't follow up on what they say they're going to do. Because I'm a person of my word. If I say I'm going to be on Emily's call at 8 p.m., bar a true emergency, I'm going to be on that call. And even if I'm in an emergency, I'm going to figure out a way to get on that call or get a substitute on that call, right? So for me, and I think the older I get, the less tolerant I am of this. So what I do when someone tells me that they're going to be somewhere or show up or watch a video and they haven't, I simply say something like this. Hey, Emily, I know that we talked about your interest in Plexus, and I really felt like you were there with me. And I can tell by the fact that I haven't heard back from you that you're no longer interested in it. And I want to let you know that that's okay. But what I also want to let you know is that I'm not going to follow up with you anymore. I don't want this to be awkward for either one of us. And so I'm just going to simply scratch you off my list for now. Know that my door's open. If you change your mind, I'm here for you. But I'm going to move forward on this one because, again, I value you more than the awkwardness that's standing between us. So what you've basically done is call them out on their bad behavior. You've let them know, I'm still here for you. I still love you. You've kind of ninja sliced them without leaving any marks, right? And so try it out, because I cannot tell you how many times I've utilized this tactic and how they followed up with me like, oh, girl, I'm so sorry. I just got busy. I was in that lost Bermuda Triangle of lost potentials. You know, I mean, but literally they will follow back up with you. So, you know, you try that as a tactic in following up. And then feel free to find me out there on Facebook and message me and let me know how it works for you. Again, when they disappear, when they deceive you, it's them just telling you it's not the right time. I know Emily has shared the coffee story with you. I know she has. I like that story so very much. I also like the story of the waitress that doesn't get upset when you don't accept dessert at the end of the meal. But let me also share with you, she's offered you that dessert after she's introduced herself, after she's told you told you how you're doing, how's your day, she's taken the rest of your order. She's invested in you. And so if I can share anything with you is get to know people, invest in them. Don't spill Plexus on them the very first time that you visit with them, because I think that they're more likely to be engaged with you once you've shown them that you have interest in them outside of, quote, sharing something with them. All right, let's move on to the enemy number 3, and that one is called apathy. So apathy is a lack of interest or enthusiasm or even concern. And here's the deal. So this business for sure is a numbers game. You have to share this opportunity with so many people before you find your runners. This business by no means, for most of us, are grand slam hits. You build it one hit at a time, one swing at the bat at a time. So you've got to build relationships in this. And so we're gonna drill down into this apathy piece. Most ambassadors that are at a jewel level have personally sponsored anywhere from 50 to upwards of 100 personal level ones, okay? Now, most people experience attrition throughout their personal sponsoring. And so I would even go as far to say that those that you will lose about 3/4 of the people that you personally sponsor. Now, I don't want you newbies to freak out on that, but that is just the reality of this business. However, what do we do about that? So have you ever been so excited about someone who's joined your team and you think, this is the one. This is the one that's going to be my runner. They're going to run with me, only to lose them. What's worse is, right, they start off great. They start sponsoring. They start getting customers, and then they just disappear. That's the worst, right? And so what you have to do is you have to radically change your thought in regards to when you bring people on board. So you have to, within the first 72 hours of bringing somebody on board, roll up your sleeves with them. Treat them with a sense of urgency as if they're going to leave tomorrow, but they have the potential to be your next runner. I personally believe that when people sign up for this business, their excitement level's like a level 10 in this. They have hope. They want to make something of this. They want the products to work for them. They want that first paycheck. Their belief level's probably somewhere around a 2. So in order to combat that apathy, we've got to get the belief level closer to the excitement level. Now, where we get very dangerous is when the excitement level drops, we stand a real chance of losing them. So how do we do this? How do we even this out a bit? I'm a firm believer that you get them plugged in, you validate this business to them as quickly as you possibly can. You are going to treat this new ambassador as if they're an infant. So those of us that are mamas, or those of us that are babysat in life, you know that a baby knows nothing. We have to teach them how to sleep. We have to teach them how to eat. We're changing their diapers. We're doing everything for them. Your ambassador is your brand new baby. So what you perceive as common sense is not common sense. They need to, and not only do you need to go tell them to make a list of people, you may need to help them jog their memory of who they know. Because I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times when I talk to someone, they're like, I don't know very many people. But did you know the average person has a network of over 200 people? So they know people, but you may have to go, okay, we're rolling up our sleeves. Okay, let's think of everyone you know. You may have to truly treat them like that infant. And y'all, it's going to be work. It's not always going to be fun, because in your mind, you're like, you should know this. You should know how to make a list of people. But I promise you, if you invest in them and they see that you have built time and relationship into them, they will not quit you. Because I promise you, at the end of the day, people will quit an opportunity all day long. They will not quit a friend. And that is super important in building the belief of, to combat that apathy. But in addition, to build your business and to build a strong team camaraderie. Again, in my opinion, I'll move heaven and earth to get that person in their first paycheck. I believe that that's how you build belief in this business. That's how you validate this business, is getting them in that first paycheck. I don't care if that first paycheck is $25. I assure you that they will start to see, oh, because what do you have to do to get $25 in Plexus? Like, not that much, right? So they'll realize that too. And then they're like, well, what if I gave, a little bit more effort? What would that paycheck look like? I guarantee you, when you roll up your sleeves and you help them, they will do that. Feel like how I have my notes here. I tend to get off task really easily, and so this helps Mama Bear stay on task here. So again, again, with some apathy, you're going to hear the excuse of, I'm shy. I don't really know anyone. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, stop allowing a piece of your personality to hold you back from this business. At the end of the day, I call that ego. And a lot of times we just look at ego as, I'm arrogant, I'm pompous, I know I'm great. There's a flip side to ego, and it's allowing a piece of your personality to hold you back from being who God intended you to be. So, don't allow that to be a piece of your journey. Step out of your comfort zone, because I guarantee you, anybody that's had success in this business has had to step out of their comfort zone on one level or another. Yours may not be talking to people. It may be public speaking, but I promise you, at some point in your journey, you will have to step out of your comfort zone. And it's a practice. It's a practice. Conversation is a practice. Relationship building is a practice. And so as soon as we start doing that and applying that to our business, you will see success. Let me make sure I've covered everything on this. We've talked about stepping out of our comfort zone. Again, being uncomfortable is part of network marketing. And, and that is what I have to say about that. So number 4, how are we doing on time? We're good. We're doing good. Yes. Okay. Last one is attrition. So attrition is defined as the process of gradually losing the effectiveness of someone or something through a sustained attack or pressure. What's the pressure? It's these enemies. It's these mental enemies of success. It's the blockers. So we need to, first of all, identify those. So have you ever had someone join your team and they're like kind of a bragger, like, yo, you don't know who just joined your team. I'm going to take this to 40 quadruple diamond. That's not even a rank, right? But that's your red flag right there. Okay. That person's going to you're not going to see them ever again. I built this business brick by brick. Again, not any grand slams. They were all singles, and we have to string them all together to find success. It doesn't matter your stage of your business, attrition always lingers. We know that this business is built in plateaus, so it's getting to one level, leveling out, and then building in higher stages. And so why attrition? I'm convinced that it's mind over mattress, meaning that their why isn't there. There's not something pulling them out of that bed every morning to make this work for them. They never determined what that is. So what can you do to minimize attrition? You've got to start working hard to serve others. We talked about people won't quit a friend. You've got to get your people plugged in, not only to you, but I would think that it is crucial to get them plugged into sideline relationships, even encourage them to make other mentor relationships through Plexus, and you have to get them to show up. And so I love, and I don't know if you all have ever heard this little trick, if you ever have somebody that you're trying to get to show up to a meeting and it's one that's in person, ask them to bring something, even if it's as little as a bag of ice. But get them to commit, because if they feel like something's on, oh, she's going to need that bag of ice, I've got to show up. That's a way that you can make sure that you keep them with you without, having to truly babysit them. But the power of association absolutely builds belief, and a person's excitement level is super high when they join, You know, when they get close to that diminishing, that's when you're dangerously close of losing them. So they say you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So make sure we're getting them plugged into positive people, people that are uplifting. Make sure you're one of those people. So at times we need to check yourself. You know, the simple phrase of just telling somebody that you believe in them is incredibly powerful, because you realize that most people don't have that person in their life that simply says, I believe in you. I took a lady to lunch just last week, and she's been my customer for I don't know how long with Plexus, and she's toyed with the idea back and forth of joining the business, and her husband has been very, very ill. He just recently received a liver transplant, and so life has gotten in the way for her, but she has decided that this is something that she wants to do business-wise. She's beat down, y'all. And I just simply looked across at the table from her, and I said to her, I said, you know, Blank, I believe in you. And you guys, I think I was reminded at that moment the power of those words. She broke down and she cried. And I mean, like ugly tears, you know, like that ugly face cry. And she said, I can't tell you how long it's been since someone has said that to me. And so just simply the power of those words can really change a person's perspective on themselves and their ability, again, their mindset between their 2 ears of what they believe in themselves. So be that person for someone. You know, don't forget that in this. So to recap what we've talked about tonight, we have talked about the blockers in this business that can get between our heads. And those are rejection, deception, apathy, and attrition. Find your ratio. Find how many it takes for you to be successful at this business. Don't give up. You know, you just really need a couple of serious people that want to do this with you. A lot of times we hear the personal sponsors of a successful ambassador in this company, and we get a little overwhelmed. And I know, especially for those of you that are new, that can be, you know, pretty overwhelming. But do you have someone that believes in you? Do you have someone that you believe in? Could you simply just invite them to this opportunity and say, I want to do this with you. We could run this together. And then if they know somebody, you've got your team, you know, and you start there. Change is inevitable, but your growth is optional. And I pray that you choose to grow with Plexus within this organization. If you did half of what you think you're capable of doing, guys, you will rock the socks off of this business. The fact that, you know, I don't know many of you on this call. In fact, I would say I don't know any of you on this call. But the fact that you said yes to this business makes you absolutely special. It makes you unique and different and brave. And your matter of success isn't if you can do it. I'm here to tell you that you can. It's if you'll stick with it long enough. That's where your success will be. But I promise you it's not always easy, but it's so worth it. And I know that you've heard that. So I appreciate y'all so very much for allowing me to share a part of my journey with you, as well as the importance of your mindset in this business and maybe some specific things. You know, we talk about the power of being positive, but also talk specifically about what those enemies could be, because I think when we're prepared for them, then we can handle them much better. So I am great with opening this up for questions, Emily. If you are, I hope that your team found this valuable. I sure did enjoy spending time with you all tonight.
Thank you so much. I'm like sitting here just like, you're amazing. You're so good with words, and your yellow is showing, and I am not yellow at all. So I'm just like, I soak it up when I get it.
You're so sweet, because you know what, y'all? Here's the funny thing. I'm high red.
Oh, yes. I can totally see that too. I'm neither at all. I'm like the walking hot mess, and I'm blue. I'm as blue as they come. I'm Celeste. So
My best friend is blue, so I get it.
I love everything about you. I love your personality, your story. I love this. These are 4 really important words, and it doesn't really matter if you're a new ambassador listening or you've been here for a while. All of this applies to you. Someone said, can you repeat what you tell people that have missed meetings and opportunities?
Sure. Let me actually, let's see if I can even take you a step further. I have some, so here's where I'm a hot mess. I have like a million spirals that I keep notes on and I even have like napkins that I write notes to myself on when I'm driving. I will repeat what I said, but I'd even like to take it a step further if I can find my notes. I have these genius thoughts when I'm driving, but I never know where I put them. So I could use a better organizational system. Okay, so what I say to people when they haven't showed up to something is, and I was just going to do like a step-by-step. This is basically it. I just break it up into like 3 different calls. But basically at the end of the day, what you're saying is, like, hey, Emily, I want to follow back up with you. I want to circle back around. I can tell by the fact that I haven't heard back from you that this opportunity, these products, whatever it is that you've introduced to them, this just isn't for you right now. And I want to let you know that that's okay. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to cross you off my list. I'm not going to follow up with you anymore because the awkwardness that is over us right now is not, I don't want that to be. You're way more important to me than the awkwardness we're feeling. So I'm going to cross you off. My door's open though. So, know that, but I'm just not going to follow up with you anymore. It's called a takeaway. And I even think they call it a takeaway close for those that have sales experience. But I just kind of look at it more like, you said you would, you didn't. So I'm taking it away. Bye. But I'm still here. So it's like, it's kind of like, no hard feelings, but I'm moving on down the road, Jack, because, I've got people who are interested. And I tell people to find the words that feel good to you. I've had people say it like, hey, I know you're not interested, but I've got several people that are. So, for the interest of time and my time, I'm going to just be following up with them. Now, I don't feel comfortable saying something like that. But what I do feel comfortable saying is, if this feels awkward, I don't want it to feel awkward, so I am going to just cross you off of off the list of the people I'm following up with. You don't have to worry about hearing from me about this anymore. But my door is open, and I'm still going to call you as a friend, but we're just not going to talk about this anymore.
So on point. I'm the person that says something that you don't like saying. I'm like, hey, it's been 6 weeks, yes or no?
And, you can have that conversation with people. Absolutely you can. I mean, and I've had that. I have the one from the virtual upline, but I like yours too. Yeah. Bob Heilig, I think he's awesome. I think he is on point. I think I take a lot of what he says and I just make it my own. And that's the thing, y'all. You will find people in this business that you just get, you like what they're saying, and then you have to turn around and make it yours. But yeah, it is so blunt, but it gets it done for sure. Right.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I watched a video the other day by Melissa Eichenhorst, and she was talking about like her number, like number 76 was her person that is now a diamond under her or whatever, her 76 level 1 or something like that. Okay. I was watching another video by another diamond, and they were like, number 42 was my first jewel. Do you know, like, the first person you invited this opportunity, are they still with the business, or do you know like what number that person was that finally became your runner?
Okay, so I am very fortunate in this business, y'all. And so I'm one of those like asterisks behind the name, results not typical. My first and second ambassadors are 2 of my top runners in the company. They're both emeralds. I have 7 potentially strong legs. So what I mean by that is 7 people who are absolutely going for it in the business. Now, are they all jewels? No, they're not. But do I know they will be one day? I do, because I know their heart, I know their determination, I know their integrity, and I know simply they're not giving up. But I did have, so where I'm similar to Emily is I sponsored many people up front right away. Now I did have, when I went diamond, I had 2 emeralds under me, but a lot of senior golds, a lot of golds. And so that's where I've been able to sustain the business. I haven't had a ton of growth outside of that, but just initial growth. And then, life happens for people. My emeralds went within 7 months, and guess what? They've been there for now 3 years. We're changing that in 2017. We are changing that. But that's the reality is that, and I was very naive because again, Celeste is my sponsor. So when your sponsor is Celeste Gwynn, you think you're failing, and again, we know not to compare, but again, when you don't have any knowledge of the business, you don't have any network marketing, and your upline goes diamond in 5 months, 6 months, whatever it was, you are like, and you don't know any different. You don't hear the other stories of people that have been with it for 5 years, or it took them 4 years to go silver or whatever. So I was fortunate. 2 of my very first ambassadors ran with me. And that was where we caught a lot of momentum, especially in the beginning. I was naive to think that they would go diamond like a month after me. And then life happens, things happen, and we had some tail off. But the cool thing is we're growing again.
Oh, that's cool. I don't have any jewels yet. I have someone pushing really hard for emerald right now, and I have another senior ruby. And so they're incredible, and they are 2 of my main runners. And then like a lot of people on this call tonight are golds and senior golds. So great message for them to hear, especially that follow-up response, because I struggle with that. I'm a very, very bold person, and I love the law of attraction, and I feel like it works very well for my lifestyle. But people that don't live life like me and they don't talk like I do, it's hard for me to give them verbiage to say that people will actually respond to, not, hey, why aren't you talking to me? So really, really love that.
Good. What else do y'all have?
Anyway, Brandy Lee, I see you smiling. Do you have any questions? Hold on, let me unmute you. All right, go for it.
I don't really have any questions. I just have to say that this is what I needed to hear, and it really resonated with me. So I'm really excited to go and implement this with what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis and share it with my team members as well. So I'm just kind of taken back by all of it. So I don't think I really have any questions for that. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And if you decide you have questions down the road, don't hesitate to reach out to me, because I know sometimes when we get on these calls, it's like, oh, shoot, I need to figure out a question, or I want to, I really just want to know, like, what's your favorite color, or what, but honestly, like, if you think of something down the road, don't hesitate to find me out there on Facebook and just send me a message, and I'll be happy to help.
All right, I got a senior ruby on here. Brianna Burkhart has a question for you.
Okay, where is she? Is she on this first? Let me find her.
Hi. A blue jacket, and she has like a pink notebook or something in her hand.
Hold on, I may have to go to the next
Wavy. She has brown hair.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, so I have a very young team as an age. Okay, so the biggest question that I get, and I don't know how to answer that because I'm only 25 myself, I desperately want older men and women with life experience on my team. So one of the biggest issues we face is, first off, I have some really young ones, like some 20-year-olds who people don't find them credible whatsoever. And it's not so much because of the lifestyle they live, it's just the age that they're at. So what's your advice for kind of bridging that gap, no matter what your age is, and just finding that credibility? And then also reaching out to a more mature audience that can, branch out and, reach those 30, 40, 50-year-olds and take, your business a little more serious?
So, the first and foremost question is where, who are you talking to and where are you spending your time? Because if you're spending your time with mostly young people, you're targeting young people, correct? And so maybe it's a matter of teaming up with someone who has a little more experience and having a three-way call, party validation with someone who's older. And when you get in front of that person, really finding that connection, because here's the thing. I mean, I found even at a young age, when I was younger, I would connect with older people. But I think it's a matter of learning to ask questions, finding out what's important to them, and learning how to connect. Because really, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm 43. I think I'm 20. So, I think it's just a matter of finding those people and connecting with them, and so I don't think it's a lack of knowing them. I think it's a matter of learning how to connect with them and asking questions.
Okay.
And then again, maybe getting somebody on the phone who is a little bit older to be able to validate their, share their story and experience. Does that help?
Okay. Yeah, I have one more thing I want to add to that also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it kind of goes along with the whole pyramid scheme. So, like, I know my parents, generation, pyramid schemes were like this big, crazy, and so a lot of times that's what we're obviously viewed as. So what's your best advice? I know that you had that like little funny joke in the beginning, but what is your best advice for people who were in that generation that really did feel the whole, oh my gosh, this is such a scam?
How old are your parents?
My dad's in his 50s.
Okay. Okay, so I'm 43. Here's the thing, I always find directness, and this is where Emily and I probably are alike. It's just saying, I know that this is your mindset on this, but why I'm so proud of Plexus and really be able to break it out for them. Our owner sought out to do this in a way that it could be done, should be done, but rarely ever is. And what I love about this is that a person coming into this company can make money, not just the people at the top. Because really, when you look at a pyramid scheme, doesn't that look more like corporate America? Nobody gets to surpass the president, but yet somebody could come in this company tomorrow and surpass me, could surpass Emily. I remember Alex saying something, goodness, it was one of our opportunity events, and he said, "We have yet to find our rock star." It's a pretty bold statement, considering all the success that has bestowed this company thus far, right? He said, "We've yet to find them. They have not entered yet." And I mean, I think a lot of that also has to do because we haven't gone truly worldwide, truly busted in the Asian markets yet, and what have and so that's where I think his mindset was when he was speaking to us. But I mean, really being able to explain this and opening that door and just saying, if I shared this opportunity in detail, would you be open to hearing about it? Because I know that you have some pre-nomers about network marketing, but I also feel confident that if I share what I'm doing in this, that you will see this differently. I always find being honest with people helps so much. I think we try to look like we're the industry expert by facts, but I think if we can just peel away some layers and say, look, I'm nervous to talk to you about this because I respect you so much. I know you think this is hogwash, but if you would just give me a window to explain why it's not, I think that I could erase some of your fears about this being a pyramid scheme.
I love that approach. Thank you.
You're welcome. When in doubt, always go back to whatever your vulnerability is, share it. If you're scared, share it. If you're nervous, say so. I find that people are way more receptive when I just simply say, I was nervous to talk to you about this. And all of a sudden they're like, why were you nervous to talk to me about this? It's just me.
So good. Anybody else will take one more question? I know a lot of you have little ones, and East Coasters are like, come on, Emily. So anybody else have a question? If not, I'm going to wrap it up. Don't be scared. Mara, I see you like smiling. Does that make you nervous? Yeah, I said your name. Riva, Angie, Jean, Amy. Amy's a rock star. She's awesome too.
Hi, Amy. You're doing like roll call here.
No. Well, a lot of people are like jumping off because I know they have little. So I guess that's it. Thank you so much. I mean, I have like notes and notes and notes of here. I cannot wait to share this recording with the rest of the team and their teams. They're going to love it. Thank you so much for taking an hour out of your evening to share with us. I love you long time.
Love you long time.